Well, hi there. This is Sharon Vornholt, and I wanted to do a short training for you today on working code violations. Now, these are something that will be sourced locally in most cases, and in my area, you can get them completely free. I just had to dig around a little bit initially online to find them, but they've made it much easier in my area to find them. So I wanted to just show you how to do this. Now, I searched for two search terms. One of them was code violations, Louisville, Kentucky. And if you go down here, you can see that the URLs are louisville.gov in several different instances. Now, I searched also for list of code violations, Louisville, and guess what? I got the same site back up. So I clicked on that, and it took me over here to this screen with the search results. So it's Louisville Kentucky .gov. Now, if I go down here, what I'm interested in is looking up property violations. So clicked on that one, and then it took me over here to this screen. Now, I have no idea why it takes you to so many screens, but it does. Now, one thing I had to do in this process was set up a free account, and I did that. So if you click here on the Metro Business Portal, it takes you over here finally to the screen where you can look for code violations. Now, if you had a particular property, you could look that up, but that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for a list that you can scan. You can either get the whole list and scan down, and for instance, if you work in a particular zip code, you can put in that zip code and get all the code violations for that zip code, or you can get them all and you can look for violations in really nice areas. You can exclude areas that you don't want. So for the sake of just going through this exercise, I'm going to say, and one thing I want to point out here is the start date for some reason is listed as tomorrow. I don't know where that is, or why that is. Maybe the date is just wrong. I've got 2018. That's the problem. Okay, hang on a second. Let's get up here to 2020. I did not notice that was that way. Okay, May 2020. There we go. Now we have the right date. Okay, so start date May 5th, 2020, end date 5/5. Now, why is it that you don't want to go back like a month or a week or whatever? Because a lot of those will be closed out. So you want to see what is available today. So we've got the start date, we've got the end date. Now, I didn't put in, you could put any one of these in here. The site visits, you don't really need those, but for now, we're just not going to choose anything, and we're going to see what it comes up with. Now, I'm in the Louisville search portal, so I don't have to put anything in. So let's just give it just a minute, and you'll see here, it pulled up all of these different cases. So we have, you'll see different things: property maintenance site visit. You're going to see pages and pages and pages of these. So it stands to reason that we might want to go back and narrow this down just a little bit. And you'll see that the zip codes are all over the place. So if you, let's say for a moment, you worked in this zip code 40216. Let's go back here and just put in 40216 and see what comes up. Okay, so now if this is an area, a zip code that you work in, you can see kind of the history of this property. They've got scheduled visits. They've got an appeals period where people are appealing the violations, open cases. You'll see that there, let's see, there are, if we go to 3, how many do we have? Yes, I don't think there was a next. So now let's go back and say, can we narrow this down any further? Code Enforcement Board, let's see, property maintenance case. Let's just see what comes up. Okay, so these are all of the property maintenance cases where people have been cited for code violations. You can take a look at these and see which ones are open, but the thing I want to point out to you is that you can find some really good properties in here. Now, if we go back to this, and I want to say too, if there are zip codes that you don't work in, you'll just want to look down the list and omit those. So I want to go back here to where we don't put in a zip code, but we want to keep the property maintenance code. And let's just hit the search. And this is really pretty fast. Now, the reason you might want to leave all the results up are to see which ones are in appeals and etc. But you can look at these and it will tell you all of the open cases for code violations. These are ones that have not been settled. And if, for instance, you work in an area, like I said, maybe your area is 40218 or 40216. This is a nice area. So you can go through there and you can cherry pick properties out for you to take a look at and contact these folks. A lot of times they're landlord properties. But let me show you for what happened here. You can also download these properties. You have the option to download these records. So download results. So I did that, and this is what I came up with. It came up with a spreadsheet of all the properties. If you could print it out and work it. If you're really good with Excel, you can sort out all the zip codes you don't want. You could, like I said, you could pick only really good zip codes and do these by zip code. But this is a free source of leads for you that you can use for your business. And you could go in there once a week, for instance, and get the new list of updated code violations. But it's a great free strategy. It's one that I've used, that I've worked, and I would encourage you to go online and just do a little digging around and see what you can find. But if you have any questions on this process, just just shoot me an email at Sharon@SharonVornholt.com, and be sure to stop over at the blog, the Louisville Gals Real Estate Blog.com. And maybe where you're actually watching this video at this time, because I have a ton of resources over there. But I hope this helps you and it gives you a way to look for deals on your own, a way that won't cost you any money. And so that's it for today, folks. So I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for stopping by.